Okay, we're going to need one dykey lesbian, big one, a black chick dressed up in whiteface, which I thought was really racist, and a white Karen woman with blonde hair, of course, 40-ish, and thick glasses to make her look smart. Now, you would have thought this was like 2022, but it's not. It's actually 2025, late 2025, actually December to almost the end of the year 2025. And you would have thought all of the billions and billions that they've lost because of Larry Fink at a private equity company, Black Rockstone or whatever it's called, demanding that everybody be taught proper etiquette and proper diversion? No. Delusion? No. Diversity. E for equivalency or no, equity. And I for exclusion. No, I believe exclusion is spelled with an E. Oh, inclusion, meaning no white men, please. Now that's what we've got because Larry and who loans money to everybody on the planet and owns quite a bit of it. I don't know if he's a Zionist, but he probably is. I'm just guessing. I know he's Jewish. No offense to Jews. My family is Jewish, so. But you do get a little tired of seeing it, don't you? The righteousness. But anyway, there's a thing on Larry Fink about his nature and what he feels needs to be done to educate people about the systemic racism in the United States, the patriarchic hierarchy, which of course he's not part of, and anti-Semitism, which he's certainly helping foster in the world and the United States. I don't know his position on the failing state of Israel, soon to be failed state. Listen to what's his name, William Pape, about that, about the things he thinks are causing the Israeli state to destroy itself. I've viewed that there are only two things. One is, of course, the wars, etc., and their bombing of everybody, and they're wielding the United States around by its nose, and because it's bribed everybody in Congress, who is now completely corrupt, to do whatever the Israelis tell us to do, without question. And if we don't, of course, then they gin up a bunch of money to have people run against those that oppose them in the United States. Or we have Netanyahu coming over here and giving lectures at joint sessions of Congress to standing ovations to correct the House N-word Barack Obama's failure to comply with the wishes of Netanyahu and his crowd. Anyway, that's part two. Part one really is the other arm of this power that they've lost, which is going to cause them to fail, is I don't think they have any idea of how the taboo of speaking ill of Israel or what they claim to be anti-Semitism, that taboo is now over with. People who just a few years ago, just 2 or 3 years ago, as a matter of fact, before or after Mel Gibson and after, all of the other people that have been canceled because of their anti-Semitic views, the taboo about taboo. I sound like a snob when I say taboo. The taboo or what. The forbidding of uttering any criticism of Israel or Jews is now gone. The veil is off of the the gun. And what I don't think the Israelis or the Zionists or the Jews or whoever is in power understands what that means. They can go ahead and buy up TikTok or Warner Brothers, or why don't they buy Netflix? That should probably be next, and get what's his name out of there. Bezos, got what a creepy dude. They're buying up all this stuff. Paramount Plus, TikTok, CBS News, which is becoming used to be the absolute greatest news organization in the United States and therefore in the world back in the 40s and 50s and probably the 60s. That's going to be gone, and it's going to be owned by very influential Zionists. So there's no bads given. There's no bad words coming out of any of those facilities regarding Israel. So, but what's lost here is, yes, they can buy up whatever they want, and they can claim that they're doing it so that they get more interesting and what would you call it? A little dip around my house here because some people might want to see what it looks like a little bit because I'm getting a little boring, I think, here. But my point being that the underlying biases and prejudices that people have, whether it's about black people, Asian people, white people, Jews, Muslims, etc., those restrictions regarding the Jewish community, they're now gone. And believe me, people have a lot of very dark views about people who are not quite like them. I'm not just talking about white people. Everybody has these views. And because now the taboo is gone from talking anything, mentioning anything, any criticism of the Jews is gone. Even good Jews, and there are a lot, I'd say, there are a lot of great Jews who have given a lot of great things to America in terms of its culture, its science, its medicine, et cetera, et cetera. Everybody's going to be hurt by this. And basically what Israel is doing is destroying and the reputation of Jewry throughout the world. And they're being monstrous. They're being anything that could be said as a trope is now out in the open. If you look at Larry Ellison and his claims loyalty to Israel, not to the United States, the country that made him a multi-hundred plus billionaire, sometimes almost richest man in the world. All of these people at the top, all of these Israelis, loyal, I'm not going to call them Jews, but they are. All these guys at the top, almost to a man, are pro-Israel. They're pro-Zionist. They're right-wingers. They're basically Nazis without the A. There's a Z there, there's an N there, and there's a I there. All you're missing there is the A for the Nazi thing. The let's call them the Zion Nazis. And what they're doing is they're destroying any shadow of a doubt that biased, prejudiced people, which is most of us, almost all of us, frankly, we're all racist. Let's accept it. Doesn't mean once you recognize it, you can do something about it. But in this case, it's going to be really, really bad for Jewish people on the planet. It's not going to get better by them shutting people's mouths or changing what the people say in the media. And that's really too bad. We haven't even begun to see what will result from this. And I'm not talking about, mass murders or some sniper or whatever, that kind of freaky, cataclysmic shit. Yes, that can all happen. But what's really going to go on is a lot more subtle than that. Because once that taboo is gone, and people are free to think and talk about it together or separately or whisper about it, they will. Oh, they will. and it's not going to be good. And I fear for my Jewish family. I fear for my Jewish friends. I fear for all the Jews that I know that are great Jews, that I think of and regard as great Jews. And I risk naming them all because some of them might end up being Zionists and I don't even know it, whether it's Paul Simon or forget Garfunkel, but the rest of them, Bob Dylan, Zimmerman, Finkelstein, what's his name, the physicist, who I kind of like Weinstein, but he's kind of a dick because he's a Zionist. I know that about him. Who's the other guy? Theoretical physicist that I really like. Susskind, yeah. I don't know if he's still alive, but he was one of my favorites. Anyway, protect yourselves, guard yourselves. Assume that if they know you're a Jew, watch what you do. And it's probably not your fault, but there should be louder voices out there opposing what Israel is doing, and the loudest voices should be Jewish voices, because they're the ones that should know better. I guess when you fight the dragon long enough, as somebody once said, I don't know who it was, you begin to turn into a dragon. That's what Israel's done. I think it's been destroyed by Netanyahu and his clique of friends, his clan. All right, so just wanted you to know that, and this new Star Trek thing is going to be a horrible bomb, and I'm going to watch about 10 minutes of it when it comes out, and then I'll be done. What a shame. Not as great as Star Wars, but I didn't grow up with Star Wars. I was in my 10s and 20s when Star Wars came out. I grew up with Star Trek. What was it, Thursday nights? It was only, 2 seasons of it, maybe 3. They didn't treat it very well at NBC. Wasn't a big deal. And by the way, Mr. Spock was a Jew. How about that? One of my faves. Leonard Nimoy. Think on that. Think about the heroes that we should be celebrating instead of the evil we should be objecting to that's going on right now. If you're a Jew out there, be loud about your opposition to what Israel's doing, the genocide, even the ethnic cleansing, if you want to go that mild about it. And if you're a Jew that agrees with all of those things that Israel's doing, keep your mouth shut, okay? You guys are loud enough already. And unfortunately, you're going to get louder. And the louder you get, the more angry non-Jews are going to be toward you and toward yours. The tribe is not going to do well. Or any of the 12 tribes are not going to do well. So that's all I got to say today. I don't know how to label this, but I'll call it a rant right here, but probably label it something else. Have a good day. Jesus wept.